start to my decluttering series. When I moved back into my get ready room, I kind of got rid of I went through all my drawers and got rid of a bunch of stuff, as I kind of explained in the intro. So I already went through everything and decided what I'm getting rid of. So I'm going to go through those with you now. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this cargo palette right here. This is the Let's Meet in Paris palette. I just honestly have never really ever used this palette. I may have used it like once, to be completely honest. All I've ever really done is swatched it. So I'd rather pass this along to someone that will actually use it a lot more. It is all shimmer shades, and it is incredibly pigmented, as you can see right there. As I mentioned, I am going to pass this along, so I will probably include this one in a blog sale coming up very soon. This one right here is the Bon Voyage palette from the Balm, and I have honestly never have used this. The only thing I've ever done with it is swatched it. So I'm not sure if you guys have this palette. Again, I think it's an incredibly pretty palette. It has some really beautiful neutrals up here and some nice pops of color. And then down here it has these cheek colors, which again, I have never ever touched. So you can be sure that those are nice and sanitary. But I have so many eyeshadow palettes. I really didn't need this one. I think I got it off of Hot Look. So I do, like I said, the only thing I've ever really done with it, I think, is swatched it. So I will sanitize this, and this will also be included in my blog. So this is the Bronze Goddess palette from Estee Lauder, and honestly, this was a complete impulse buy on my part. This is a really, really beautiful neutral palette, but these three shades right here are incredibly pigmented, and I really, really like them, and these are the ones I've gotten the most use out of. So as you can see right there, they do have some pretty incredible pigmentation. These neutral shades right here were just a little lackluster for me, and because they're so close together, I'm always afraid of like the pans touching and mixing. But as you can see right there, that's kind of the pigmentation of these ones. Not that good. So these were a little bit chalky for me, and this was actually a pretty expensive palette. I mean, I remember it being, you know, not particularly that cheap, especially because it's Estee Lauder. But again, I will be sanitizing this, and this will also be included in a blog sale coming up. Next, we have the Dangerous palette by Urban Decay, and it's just this like leather packaging, and then inside comes these 6 shades. And honestly, this is a great palette. I've never used this lip gloss before. I would probably just pitch this because who knows how old it is. So these shades are incredibly pretty. I just never really use this palette, and then this is the kind of the swatches of it. I think my biggest determining factor about getting rid of this palette was I have almost all of these shades already in the Smoked palette by Urban Decay, so I felt this palette wasn't really that necessary. But I think this is a great jewel tone palette. Again, I have nothing bad to say about it. I just already had these shades in another palette, and I don't need 2 palettes. This next palette here is from Pop Beauty. This is the Bright Delight or Bright Up Your Life palette, and while this is a beautifully, like, incredibly holy crap bright palette, I think, again, I bought this as kind of more of an impulse buy because it was on clearance at Ulta. And I think I was going to keep it, and then I started swatching the shades, and I just wasn't that big of a fan. Just to swatch out a couple for you. Some are really pigmented, some are kind of chalky. So that's kind of the pigmentation there. These are very fun, bright shades. I just don't think I will get much use out of them. So again, I'd rather just go to somebody that will have fun and really play with these colors and get a lot of use out of this palette. The next one is the Pure Minerals Jupiter Ascending palette. And again, I think this was definitely an impulse buy on my part. I did do a tutorial with it, and it did turn out well, but I really, really had to work with these colors. They are really pretty, and I think they are exceptionally beautiful for the fall. I really love this Jupiter shade right here. Is this crimson shade, as well as this Night Sky, and then this one is Cane. So they are very, very pretty, again, but it's something you have to work with. I think that they swatch a lot more pigmented than they are. I definitely would use a primer with this. And like, this was a little bit of a letdown for me because I really love my Beautiful Creatures palette, and I'm definitely keeping that one, which is also inspired by a film, but this one just did not, you know, awe me as much as that one did. So this will be getting passed along. Next is the NYX Suede Collection palette, and again, while this was really, I think, hyped up for the fall, and that's again the reason I bought it. I've just never gotten much use out of it, and I again rather just go to somebody that would. These are incredibly beautiful colors for the fall. Some really pretty jewel tones, like this blue one right here, this brown one, this cranberry-ish brown one. Again, but these look so much similar to a lot of other palettes I already have right now. So again, I'm just not incredibly crazy about them. So I picked up this palette actually right after I got some Nika K products in my Ipsy bag, and I really liked those products. I thought I was gonna like this palette as much. I don't honestly know why I picked up this palette. I think maybe because it just had a bunch of colors I didn't think I already had. You know, I think the big motivation behind not picking up palettes that you don't have a lot of colors of is because I don't tend to use them or like them. So for like example, these pink shades I would never use. So again, I don't know why I bought this. These yellow shades I would never use. These really bright green shades I would never use. These neutral shades are really pretty. But again, some of these kind of swatch a little bit chalkier, like, you know, than others. Some aren't that bad. It's still kind of hard to get your finger in the palette to even do swatches, but these are, again, incredibly bright colors. Probably will not get much use out of them, so I'm going to be passing this along to somebody that will. So this palette right here is a Candies palette, and actually I got this as a present. This is the Glamorous Glow Tutorial palette. So in here it has these 3 eyeshadow shades, which are actually pretty nice. So just to swatch these out for you real quick, they're actually not terrible, especially for like a beginner with makeup. So this down here is the highlighter, and it's actually really pretty as well. Very pigmented. I've never touched the lip shades, I've never touched these lip glosses or these brushes, so those are fresh and clean. Again, I just have so many neutral palettes. I think that this palette's kind of big and bulky. I understand it's, you know, probably used mainly as a gift idea or for Christmas time. Just not exactly, you know, it's not for me. I have enough neutral shades already, so I'm going to be passing this along. So this next palette is the Touchstones palette. This is from the Kardashian collection that you can get at Ulta. This, I believe, this doesn't have, some of them have, like, they are specific for Kim, Chloe, or Kourtney. I think this is just a general one. Again, I got this, I kind of saw hype around it and I grabbed it up. It is incredibly pretty, beautiful shades, especially if you're looking for kind of a dupe for the Naked 3 palette. Yeah, the Naked 3 palette. A lot of very similar shades, very rosy gold tone shades that I think, again, are very, very pretty. I just, you know, I already have the Naked 3 palette. I don't need this palette as well. But this is definitely a nice little, if you're looking for a cheaper version of that, I would definitely check this out. This is the palette actually that is specific for one of them. So this is the Chloe Cardazzle. And again, this is the one that I was most attracted to when I picked it up. Again, very beautiful, beautiful shades. I really like this bottom row with all these glitters. And again, I've gotten very minimal use out of this as well. I do find them to be very unique shades, but again, I just don't use this palette that much. So I'd rather pass it on to someone that would. What's also really nice is outslides your cheek products. This makes a really nice travel palette, and these are actually pretty, you know, pigmented as well. I would say actually out of anything, these are probably my favorite parts of this palette. You guys have to excuse me, I'm trying to figure out this camera angle and showing you guys swatches. It is not working out well for me, so try not to judge me too much. So this next one is this Revlon Custom Eye palette, and again, like this palette, just the pigmentation is very lacking. It was 75% off, so I got it when I was on clearance. I thought that the shades were incredibly pretty when I first picked it up, that's why I grabbed it, but pigmentation wise, some of these shades just do not do it for me, especially like this blue shade, which is what I was hoping to be the best one, is definitely probably one of the most patchy ones. And then this, sorry, trying to figure out my fingers here, this gray shade over here, which is this one, is incredibly patchy as well. This brown one's pretty pigmented, and I think that these highlight shades aren't too bad. They're a little bit chalky though. Gosh, sorry guys. This one's really chalky, and then this black one just not much going on for me. So again, this palette, I would probably just pitch it because I just think the quality is so low that I don't think anyone would actually want it. Maybe I'll pass this on to my sister or somebody who's kind of just starting out with makeup. This next one is the NYX Smoky Eye palette. I got this as part of when the Mortal Instruments set came out. This was in it. While I did really like it at the time, again, this doesn't get much use from me now. And so, again, some of these shades are just okay for me. Just to swatch a couple for you. They're okay. Again, I feel like I have these colors in a lot of other palettes too, so that's why I'm passing this on as the main reason. But I do, again, some of these like smaller NYX palettes aren't too bad. You gotta find the right ones though. I definitely kept one that I think it was the Adorable palette that I really liked, that I think I did a tutorial on a little while ago as well. But this one I'm just gonna pass along. I think someone else will get much better use out of it than I will. I'm actually not sure where I got this palette from. This may have been a gift or or something from somebody. This is the Nudes Eyeshadows by H&M. And again, while this palette is definitely not poor quality, some of these shades are a little chalky, but this is not, I'm not getting rid of this because of the quality, because they are, you know, pretty pigmented. But again, I just have so many neutral palettes. I don't need another one. This definitely never gets used by me. So again, I'd rather pass this on to someone else who's just starting out with makeup, or who doesn't have a lot of nude palettes, or, you know, wants something that's a little bit different as far as the nude range goes. I think this would be a great palette for them as well. So this Dior palette right here I actually got as part of someone else's blog sale. But again, I just never use it, and I think I just impulsively got it because it was Dior and I just wanted to have a luxury little palette, and it was, again, super affordable. You can't ever get Dior that affordable as I got it, but again, I never use it. I'd rather someone else get the use out of it. It is an incredibly pretty smoky palette, so if you're a smoky eye lover, you will definitely love this palette. So these are, again, because, you know, Dior is very good quality, so these are very nice and pigmented. This right here, I believe, is a gel liner, or it was at one point, so this is, again, pretty dried out. So I wouldn't use that part right there, but the rest of this is definitely usable. I just, again, I have no use for it. I have all these shades in other palettes, so I'd rather someone else use this. And then the last eyeshadow palette that I'm getting rid of is this Wet n Wild one. This is the Petal Pusher, and it's this really pretty purple palette. But when I went to swatch this, and I wasn't intending to keep all these kind of palettes, but when I went to swatch this one, it just was not as pigmented as the other ones, so I am going to be giving it up. And then again, some of these shades too, I don't think I would ever use. This side over here I really like, and I think is very pigmented. And like some of these, again, some of these shades I just, they're just okay for me. I guess the pigmentation isn't that bad either, but again, these just weren't, I don't know. When I swatched it, they weren't super pigmented, so that's the reason I was getting rid of them, but when I swatch them on my fingers, they look plenty pigmented, so I'm still planning on getting rid of it though. It is an incredibly beautiful palette for fall, especially if you have brown eyes. I would highly recommend picking up this palette. It's perfect for you. These purples really complement your eyes very well. It's just not a palette I reach for very often. Okay, so last but certainly not least is all the single eyeshadows I'm getting rid of, and I'm going to try to go through these as quick as I can because I know this is probably getting to be a pretty long video. All of these Milani shadows right here, I'm just not a fan of. The Bella eyeshadows, I don't understand the hype behind them. I don't think the pigmentation is really all that on point with them. That one isn't too bad. I would say out of the three I own, these ones are probably the best, but again, I don't ever use them. So this one I just swatched for you is Bella Champagne. So this one's just okay. Again, I'll throw this in the blog sale if anyone wants them. I know that they're super hyped up right now. I'm just not a fan. This one here is called Bella Cappuccino, and again, pigmentation just for this one on me. It's just not very bright. I thought this would be a perfect crease shade, and it's really just blah. And I feel like if I want somewhat of a, you know, kind of a transition shade, I already own these in so many palettes, so I don't need this. And then this blue one here, which is called Bella Cobalt, I was the most like excited to grab because I really love cobalt blue shades, and this one was the most disappointing for me. It is just not, like, the pigmentation on my finger shows well. This is not pigmented when it goes on your eyes at all. This is such a disappointment for me, so I am definitely getting rid of this one. So this Maybelline Color Tattoo, the only reason I'm getting rid of it is it's dried out because I've never used it. So it was this one right here, which is again a cobalt blue shade. If I can turn this to the camera so you guys can see it. This was in, this is when they had all those like metal tattoos out. This is the electric blue one. I'm just not, well, it's dried out, so it has to be pitched. I also didn't find myself really gravitating towards this color that much. I may have used it for a couple of eye looks, but overall I just, you know, it didn't really get much use, and that's why it's dried out. Getting down to the end, so these three NYX eyeshadows right here, again, I just, A, don't ever use, and B, the pigmentation isn't what I was expecting from these shades. So just to swatch them for you real quick. Again, these just aren't really doing it for me. The pigmentation, especially on like this one, and then yeah, pigmentation wise, these just aren't, you know, really nice for me. I will include them though. I'm not sure if I think they still sell these kind of eyeshadows. I'm not sure. I think only There's something that's being discontinued that's in this kind of a packaging. I'm not sure if it's the cheek colors or the eye colors, but I will, again, sanitize these and see if anyone wants them. I think they would be really pretty paired together. I think just on the eyes, the pigmentation was not there for me. This one here is called True Taupe, and then this one is called Charcoal Brown, and this one is called Charcoal. So again, just pigmentation wise, just didn't do it for me. These right here are 2 Revlon shades. I actually think I picked these up basically for free with coupons at the store. I was mainly looking for a single black eyeshadow, especially for travel purposes. If I want to take, you know, a whole palette that doesn't have black in it, I wanted a single black eyeshadow. This, again, just pigmentation wise didn't do it for me. These are the Link ones. I'm not sure if they're still selling them, but you just link them together like this and then you make your own palette from them as so. But again, pigmentation wise, these are just lackluster for me, and that black is definitely not black enough for me. So out of both of them, the brown's way better, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of both of them because I don't use them. Then the last thing here is this Pacifica eyeshadow. I don't think I've ever used this. I got it in an Ipsy bag. Again, I've never used it. The colors just never really appealed to me. But you know, it's really, I mean, it's really nice. I know this is a good brand, so let me swatch these for you real quick. The purple's actually kind of interesting. I don't think I have a purple quite like this, and I do like the highlight shade. It has like a nice gold blue metallic feel to it, but again, I just never use it. I need to get rid of my eyeshadows. I don't think I'm ever going to be reaching for it, so this one's also on the out list. So thank you guys so much for watching my decluttering video today. Again, while some of these products here just don't work for me, I think they would work wonderful for other people, so that's why I'm going to be passing them along and getting rid of them. I think it's great to purge stuff from your collection. It's a great therapeutic, I think, method of, I don't know where I'm going with that statement, but I love decluttering. I love getting rid of stuff. I think it's very rewarding for myself, but it's also not going to be a method where, you know, I get rid of all this stuff and then buy a bunch of stuff and then have to go through this process again in a couple months. I've been pretty good lately about just using stuff that I really, really like and getting rid of other stuff that I do not use at all. So this is kind of a compilation of what all this is eyeshadow wise. Do stay tuned for lip products as well as body products and other stuff coming up that I have been decluttering. And again, some of the stuff that I've never used before will be included in a blog sale of mine coming up. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting out new videos usually every week. If you guys like these kind of videos, you like decluttering videos, please leave me a comment down below. I'm planning on doing many more. Like I said, lips is a big one. I have a few body products I think that I can include in either the lips one or by themselves. So I'll be doing that again very soon, as well as cheek products. So stay tuned for those. So guys, until my next video, I will talk to you later. Bye everybody.